Across the globe, people have reported encounters with things they can't explain. Screaming spirits, winged beings, and glowing eyes in the night are just some of the things that have unnerved humans for centuries. Could all of these things actually be traced back to one creature that's more natural and less paranormal? In Irish folklore exists a wailing ghost known as a banshee. Dressed all in white, with a pale face, and deep dark sunken eyes, banshees are female spirits that scream a ghastly blood-curdling sound that serves as a warning that death is approaching. Some reports say that banshees fly around the home of someone doomed to die, screaming and shrieking. If one is seen, it disappears into a cloud of fog or mist, leaving no evidence that the ghoul was ever even there. Throughout Irish, Scottish, and Welsh folklore, banshees or creatures like them have been described for centuries. And even to this day, reports from all over the globe of creatures similar to this that scream in the night are reported by people. There was even an account as recently as 2014. So what exactly is it that's causing these reports to come in? Meet the barn owl, a bird with an underside of white, a large heart-shaped face, and deep dark eyes. True to their name, these birds spend their days in barns, old human habitations, thick trees, and brushy areas. They feed on small mammals and patrol open spaces under the cover of nightfall, hunting for prey. Nocturnal animals have always captured the imagination, as they thrive in the darkness that served as a source of uncertainty and fear for our ancestors. It makes sense that birds like owls could potentially be confused for some sort of less natural winged creature. However, how could an animal such as the kind of cute, kind of creepy barn owl be responsible for the legend of the banshee? First, barn owls live all across the world, in nearly every continent. That puts them at the scene where the legend was first created. Second, take a listen to this noise. The call, song, scream, whatever you want to call it, from the barn owl is one of the most blood-curdling noises in the natural world. It's definitely one of the most shocking and ear-piercing sounds that any nocturnal bird species makes, and it would certainly be alarming if you heard it out in the wilderness and didn't know what it was. So the barn owl has the tools and is in the right place to definitely scare some people and perhaps even create the legend of the banshee. But one would think that people would certainly notice that there was an actual living creature responsible for making these noises and not some sort of demonic entity. But you have to remember that things are a little different now than they were back when this legend was first created, and there are a few possibilities on how this could have happened. It's likely that this all could have started because people heard the scream of the barn owl before someone died. Some people hypothesized that soldiers marching into war at night would hear the owls, and obviously people would die soon after because of the ensuing battle. Another potential origin story is that people weren't often up too late into the night back when the legends first began. There was no electricity, so when it was dark, people would simply go to bed, unless there was a reason to be up, such as someone who needed to be tended to because of illness. People awake in a home caring for an ill family member could have potentially heard the nocturnal barn owl, and shortly after, the sick family member could have passed away, creating a perceived correlation. Human beings are always looking for reason behind things, and over time word of this correlation could have spread, and thus created a legend in which people heard a scream followed by the death of somebody close to them. Over time, enough people probably had an experience like this, and maybe even conjuncture with seeing a white, dark-eyed silhouette flying somewhere outside, and believed it to be something supernatural. Of course, there was no internet, no phone, and no social media, so there was no way to figure out what was actually going on in these situations, so people had to try and piece it together the best that they could. What they came up with was a screaming spirit that comes to warn of death on the horizon. Over the years, other paranormal and cryptozoological reports have been blamed on owls, such as the Jersey Devil and Mothman, just to name a few. So what do you think? Was the barn owl really responsible for the legend of the banshee, or is there something else out there lurking in the hills of the Irish countryside? Let us know in the comments below, and if you want to learn about other nocturnal songs and calls of different bird species, check out one of these videos. And as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Badgerland Birding.